Hi, welcome to You, Me and Mediumship. Tonight's natter is basically going to be about religion, about my personal views, and these are personal views. I'm not saying they're correct, they are just my personal views. Do have total respect for all religions. It's a very personal thing, I believe, and I'm not here this evening to knock any religion whatsoever, just state the few ideas. I'll give you a few statements that I've received as a medium, and we'll start there, I guess. There's many religions, as we know, and they all tend to say that they are the right religion and what they say is correct. Their writings are correct, and obviously this causes an awful lot of conflict in the world, which is a worrying thing for most of us. And there are many wars, many lives lost in the name of religion. Now, there are many arguments that that's through choice. It's not God's word. It's not Buddha's word. It's not any religious leader's word at all. It's what we do through choice. Now, in my opinion, I don't think that there would be a God, if you like, in any religion, any religious figure, in my opinion, would agree to the taking of life in the name of that religion. I personally don't believe that that would happen. So what has gone wrong in the world with religion? Now, I've sat with that many times in my mind. I've had a spiritual conversation, I guess, if you like, questioning religion. Now, my understanding is that what I've got from that and what I understand from that is that there is only one source. What we choose to name that source varies, and it varies across the world. So when we think about that, what we decide to call our God really is just a label. It's just a label that we give the source. The American Indians, for argument's sake, would call the source the Great Spirit. And I have an awful lot of respect for the American Indian culture, their spirituality, and I think they speak an awful lot of truth, to be honest. Now, I'm not going to start labelling different religions and the different aspects of those religions and start pulling them apart, because like I said, I do believe it's a personal thing, so I don't want to get into that really. I just have my own perspective on those things, and I'm sure you do too. So where do we fit into this big picture as mediums? Obviously, there are religions that say that what we do is evil, is wrong. I don't believe that for 1 minute, because of what I've seen, because of what I've sensed, because of what I've heard. What we do is not evil at all. There is one statement that I do totally agree with, is that we should test the spirits, and I totally believe that. I always question. I always make sure that what I feel inside, what I sense, is correct. In other words, that what I'm connecting with is coming through with love and light. And I've had the very odd occasion where I felt something to be quite heavy, not dark at all, just heavy. And this is normally an emotional thing, a heavy emotional. It does weigh you down, and I have in the past, I'll be totally honest, asked these energies to step back, not because I feel they are evil, but because the the pure energy of them, sometimes the weight of that energy is maybe just a little bit too much to bear. And I have found, in all honesty, that spirit have a respect for us as we do them. They will step back, and once you hear their story, once they've stepped away slightly but still within reach, then normally it's an emotional thing that they are trying to deal with. It's heavy on their shoulders, and we talk things through, we get the message across, things start to ease, and the energy does lighten. So, not evil at all, not in any way, shape or form. I am not doubting that there is a dark side, but what I will say is that I've never ever experienced that in mediumship. Not in the slightest way, shape or form. There are going to be many, many people, and I've had it before when I've said this, there are going to be many, many people who will say they have. That's fine. The source of these energies that other people experience, if they feel they are dark energies, I question the source of that. I do believe at times that we create atmosphere. A prime example of that would be if, on like a paranormal investigation, if you're in a dark building, the wind's blowing outside, it's in total darkness, and there's knocks and bangs going on and floorboards creaking and all sorts of weird and wonderful things, then you will create that atmosphere in which something may happen. Whether this is real or not is a different thing. Now, I have friends who are paranormal investigators who will argue that fact, that there's no such thing as evil, because they say they've been scratched, they say that things have been thrown at them. Now, I've done paranormal investigations, and there is energy. Yeah, there's energy there. I've never been scratched. I have seen things thrown. I have seen things lifted, massive tables lifted off the floor that you would struggle with. One on each corner couldn't lift it. Big solid oak tables lift, I don't know, a good 6-8 inches off the floor and come down with some force. I've seen that. But does that mean it's evil? Does a stone being thrown across the floor, do we put that down as evil? I do not understand why we do. I don't believe it is evil. I believe it is energy, and I believe it is energy trying to attract attention. I would not say for 1 minute that that was demonic in any way, shape or form. So, like I said, I think we create atmosphere. And as mediums, many of you experienced mediums, would totally understand how raising an atmosphere within a room on a demonstration makes life a lot easier for us as mediums to receive messages from loved ones if the atmosphere is heightened with a bit of laughter, a bit of joy. It makes a vast difference. So it's the atmosphere we create. We are energy, and we can create energy. And if it's a negative energy, then the chances are negative things may happen. But I do not think they're demonic in any way, shape or form. I believe that they are, energies that are given strength to make themselves known. Not demonic throwing a stone, not demonic lifting a table, but just pure energy. Same energies that as mediums we connect with, just maybe energies that, like I say sometimes in some of the talks I give, if somebody's a miserable old git on this planet, then it doesn't, the chances are that when they've passed, they're still a miserable old git. They're not going to change overnight. There is a progression of spirit. There's a growth of spirit when they pass. You continue to grow. You continue to learn. It doesn't mean you're a miserable old git in life and you'll always be a miserable old git. It just means if you once passed, you will progress. Your energy will lift, and you will enlighten. Whether that means, again, we're getting down to the religious side of things, you are reincarnated, in order to progress, then maybe that's the case. So, yes, I do believe we should test the spirit, and I think it's a good thing. I was told many years ago, I think I was sat in circle, and it came through to me that, well, it was said by another medium, it was told to me that you will be a very good medium, and one of those reasons will be because you question everything, and I think it's important that we do. So, religion. Now, like I said earlier, it's a personal thing. It's a very personal thing. And I believe personally that what we should do is we seek truth ourselves. We should seek the truth within ourselves. I do not believe in, like I said earlier, I don't think things should necessarily be preached to us. I believe that maybe we should be guided to where we need to go to find this truth, and then let free to do so. We are free entities, we are free spirit. So I don't believe we should be force-fed any religion at all. I think that is for us to go and discover for ourselves. And I always worry about any truths that have been interfered with, if you like, by the hand of humankind. So any writings, any religious books from any religion, I think sometimes we need to question certain aspects of that. I do not for 1 minute understand how the truth can be altered. So if a holy book of any form is altered to suit mankind, then to me it no longer becomes truth. Truth does not change. What is true does not change. So the very source is a constant flow of energy that does not change direction to suit us. So if in these books it states that we should live life in a certain way, only certain sexes should do certain things, then it cannot be rewritten to suit us, because you have already, in a way, damaged the truth. It is no longer truth. It's convenience. That's how I see it anyway. So, I believe, I've said this before, I totally believe in God, the source, the energy, the Great Spirit, whatever label you wish to give this energy. I totally believe it's an energy of love. I totally believe it is an energy of warmth, of light, a very positive, beautiful energy. What label we give that, depending on what country we live in, what background we have, it's fine by me. That's absolutely fine. We give it a different label depending on where we are in the world, and that's fine, and it's totally understandable. We all progress at different rates in different countries, and we all have different understandings of this source, of this energy. At the end of the day, it all leads to the same place. And religion to me is very much like a tree. There are many roots, but they all lead to the same trunk. And that's what's important. It all leads to the same place. So whatever our beliefs, it doesn't really matter. But I think what we do need to learn is to respect each other's understanding of this truth, of this energy, of this source. That's where we go wrong. We do not respect each other's ideas of what this source truly is. But as I said earlier, I would question any source that would agree with the taking of another life. I would certainly question that. I won't go any deeper into that, but I would certainly question that. So I'm not saying that that source, that energy, is false. But what I will say is that I believe that the understanding of that source, of that energy, is wrong. And as I said earlier, if mankind has had any input to any holy book, then we need to question some of that. We know the truth because we bring it with us early on. It's always within us. It never falters. It never changes. It is how much thought, how much time and dedication we put into seeking that truth that matters. And the more we do that, the better understanding we will get of it. So, mediums aren't evil, certainly not. Maybe a few dodgy ones here and there, but certainly not evil. And what we practice is not evil. I believe, like I said before, I'm not repeating myself, I believe in God, and I believe that Jesus walked this earth. I believe there was a man, a very highly spiritual, advanced being who walked this very earth. I do believe that. And I believe in an awful lot of his teachings. We need to try and understand those teachings, not just take them as they are written. There are many, many statements that Jesus made that we shouldn't be taking on face value. We need to, it's a bit like Shakespeare really. You can read Shakespeare over and over again and get slightly different understandings of certain statements that are made within those writings. And I believe that is the same with some of the writings of Jesus. If we sit and try and understand them better and see them from a different perspective, they are unbelievably knowledgeable in the sense that, well, what they can teach us. But, you know, man has had his hand writing within some of these sayings, some of the happenings whilst Jesus was here. And obviously that is that person's or those people's perspective on what happened, what was said. I'm not saying there are, you know, it's all total nonsense, not for 1 minute. It's not. You know, there are many sayings there that are unbelievable teachings that we need to have time to try and understand them rather than take them straight away on face value. That's how I see it. So I'm going to end it there. Didn't go into the depth that I really wanted to go into, but then again, I don't want you nodding off. So have a great evening. Please like and subscribe, and hope to see you again soon. Thank you for listening. Bye for now.